Hi, my name is Connie Hasty and I'm one of the owners of Encores Consignment. Right now we're going to talk about how to tag non-hanging items. It's important that you get your items tagged properly so they will sell. Before you spend all your valuable time tagging, be sure you go to our website or flyer to learn all our guidelines. At drop-off, those guidelines will be strictly enforced and you don't want to have any of your items rejected. Let's start by looking at items with lots of little pieces. For example, you might have a board game like this that has lots of pieces in it and there's really no way to secure them. You can try using saran wrap, put it all the way around it and tape it down really well. Put tape on every single edge. Another thing you could do, if there's just a few little pieces and you want to keep them together, you can put them in a Ziploc bag. I would also even maybe perhaps put tape across the top of the Ziploc bag. Then you can put it all back together and put it in the box. It's also good if you know for a fact that it has all the parts. You can write that on your card, has all parts. That always helps. If you have puzzles, what I like to do is put all the pieces in a Ziploc. Again, I might put tape across the top of it, put it together like that, and put it on top. I usually don't even put tape on the outside of the boxes because shoppers want to examine and make sure all the pieces are on there. And again, I would write on the card, has all pieces, or maybe if it has all but one piece. But I would write, has all pieces on the card so that perhaps they won't even destroy your package trying to count all your pieces. Another good idea is to use the saran wrap technique on toddler puzzles. They have the pieces that you pull off like that. If you just cover it and then tape it on the back really well, it'll keep all the pieces together. Ziploc bags are good for puzzles and games, but they're also good for small toys such as Barbies and their accessories or Matchbox cars. Right here we have an example of what a bagged item would look like of little toys. It could be almost anything. You're going to put it in there together and you're going to do the Ziploc. You might put tape at the top of it to keep the little hands out, and then you'll put your card right there, and always on the outside of the bag. Never have your card on the inside of the bag. If your toys actually belong to a bigger item such as this, you would do the same thing to it, but then get some curly ribbon and attach it very well to the main part of the toy. And then try to put your card on the front of the toy so that when it's sitting on the shelf for display, they'll be able to see your price easily. Another good use for curly ribbon is on items that don't have a flat surface to put your card. You can just put the curly ribbon around it, tight as possible, and then you're going to pin your card to the curly ribbon, not the item. Make sure that you catch the card twice so it stays on there well. Another good use for curly ribbon is on slick items like a baby doll. You could put it around your neck and then just pin the card to that. If the doll or the item has something that you could possibly pin a card to, that's always your first choice. Pin the card to the fabric, but be sure to pin it twice. Not just once like this. This can come off very easily if somebody were to pick up the doll just by the tag. Let's talk about tagging your books and media for a second. We really prefer that you do one book at a time instead of a whole bunch of them together. You can just put your card on the back where it doesn't cover up anything that's important, and you can be sure and write the description including the title of the book and your price and your consignor number and all that, so that if it happens to get separated, we can find it. If you really want to do two books together, please do not put them in plastic bags. They get separated and we cannot figure out whose is whose. The best thing to do is to put them front to back with a 4 square of curly ribbon. Don't use string or yarn. It doesn't stay together good. Don't use masking tape. That does not hold them. When you do it like this, they cannot be separated, and then you just pin your card to the ribbon and be sure that you catch the card twice. With your videos, your DVDs, your computer games, your leap pads, whatever has a case and has a little game inside of it, please, 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 please be sure that the game is in there. So many times it's not in there when people come to buy them and they're very unhappy. Then you can just close it up. You're going to have to show us when you get there that it's in there, so you might as well not even put a piece of tape if you don't want to, because you're going to have to open it when you come to drop off. Then put your tag on the back. Again, hopefully in a place that's not too covering up important stuff, and make sure, again, that the video is in the game. Although you might consider shoes clothing, we actually consider them non-hanging items, so let's talk about how to tag them right now. When you're doing your shoes, try to find a place that you can attach a safety pin to. Or if they have laces, such as this one, you could tie the laces securely together. The best way to do it is to use a curly ribbon to attach them together, and then you're going to pin your cards to the curly ribbon. Right here, we've tied the shoelaces so they're not hanging around and they're not flopping everywhere. Used our curly ribbon to secure the two pieces together, and then we've pinned our card to the curly ribbon. We've caught the card twice, not just once, so that if it gets picked up by the card, which they often do, it won't come off as easily. We don't want your shoes in boxes or bags. They do not sell well that way, and you need to make sure that your card is attached to the shoes, not inside the box or inside the bag. There are some times, however, that it's very hard to find a place to attach your card, like these little slide-on shoes. It's hard to figure out what to do, but what I usually do is I just get one of these clips, like an office clip, and I put it on there to hold them together. And then I will actually pin my card to the side of the clip. That's about the best way you can do on these hard things to tag. One last thing about non-hanging items. If you have a breast pump to sell, please be sure and go to our website and read the special instructions for how to tag and package those. This concludes the non-hanging items tagging video. Thank you so much for being an Encores and More consigner, where we're bringing down the cost of growing up.